All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Closet of Truth. Yeah, we're. Welcome to the Closet of Truth. Welcome to the Closet of Truth, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Saturday.
It was a stormy night, you know the kind where the lightning strikes. And I was hanging out with some of my artsy friends. You, 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 you. The beat went on, the night went long, and people hanging out till the break of dawn. Incense was burning, so I was gonna play. Alright.
It was a stormy night when the lightning strike, bringing chaos and the thunder. Oh, you know me, right? Upper echelon till the break of dawn. Ain't seen nothing like this, like Babylon. Through the darkness and the rain, we standing strong. You know we got the recipe for the perfect song. Now let me tell you about these fake friends. They like to smile in your face and they pretend.
All right.
They act like they got your back, but it's an act. They stab you in the back.
Good morning, happy Saturday.
Fake friends, you know we don't need them. Fake friends, you know we gon' leave them. Switch sides, double cross, call them a snake. I can see through these lies, I ain't gon' break. Now you know me, I'm royalty. Fake friends, fake love, ain't no loyalty. When you're down and out, there's nowhere to be seen. When you on top, they want you on the team. Now choose them wisely, that ain't unfriendly. All up in your DM, that could've been your enemy.
Yeah, picks my friends like I picks my friends. And yeah, they told me that when I was on you. I don't walk around trying to be what I'm not. I don't waste my time trying to get what you got. Yeah, picks my friends like I picks my friends.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't walk around trying to be what I'm not. I don't waste my time trying to
Wakanda.
We got a trail in the mix.
Good morning, Ange. All right. We're welcome to the show.
We got a trail in the mix.
All right. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Closet of Truth, where I am fielding questions from those who want to go a little deeper into the conversation about a lot of the things that we tend to cover. Now, we have a special request from a guest, Retribution and Conservative Democrat. Why don't you two gentlemen come on up here? We don't got much time. It is the weekend, and Zeus has a lot of things to do. So why don't you just send Zeus a guest request so that we can address these issues. All right. You know, there's a lot of people on this app that have grievances with Zeus. All right. And so I want to make sure we get those aired out. And we ask these folks some of those tough questions that really matter to the American. All right. Good morning, Retribution. How are you?
I'm good.
All right. Are you going to turn your camera on for the American people so that they can see all of your handsomeness that I've heard about?
Didn't I just tell you not to bother me about that anymore? I'm not going to show my face. So
Okay, so
let's get down to the actual debate.
Okay, so you're not going to show your face. Fair enough. Fair enough. What about your friend, Conservative Democrat? I was figuring maybe both of you could come up here and we could get this out in the open.
I don't need him.
You don't need help?
Nah.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Conservative Democrat. Hold on. All right. So, gentlemen, this is between me and Conservative Democrat to clear the air, so to speak. All right. So, before we get started, Conservative, there's a couple of questions that I think I'm going to have to check in with you about to make sure I know where you stand on issues that are very, very important to us. All right. And you've heard these before. So do you still believe the 2020 election was rigged? And wait a second. There's a lot of background noise. Is everything okay over there?
What are you talking about?
I'm hearing a lot of static.
I don't hear anything.
Well, I do.
Okay.
Are you on a headset? What are you on speakerphone? What are you doing?
Speaker.
Do you have a headset? Maybe that'll help.
No.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. So you still believe the 2020 election was rigged, correct?
Why are you asking me questions that you know are going to get me banned? Come on, man. I'm not. I'm not
Okay.
dumb.
Well, just plead the fifth. How about that? That way you don't
Nah,
lose
I
your
don't need
account.
to. I don't. We all know the truth there, but let's.
Okay, listen. It's not about me and you. There's people here who I believe might not know who you are, and so I want to lay the groundwork before we get into the meat and
No, no, no.
potatoes.
I don't have time for this. I actually have a job.
Well, I don't have time. I'm giving you a good hour.
I'm not going to be
Okay,
taking the entire hour. This is supposed to take me 5 minutes at the most, but you're making this. You're kind of stretching it out.
I'm giving you and conservative Democrat an hour of my time,
Yeah,
so
I
that
don't
so
need an
that
hour.
so that you and him don't have to continue to try to bombard me with this nonsense that you like to do. All
Nonsense.
right.
But you refuse to even. You
So
refuse to even review the footage, any of the information I provided you.
okay, so you don't. What about January 6th? Do you still believe that Donald Trump is not responsible for that?
I have. I mean, you guys set up this narrative, and I do have some kind of proof that proves he wasn't.
Okay. Okay. All right. And so with that, and then the last question is: you still believe Biden is guilty of crimes, correct?
I believe Biden is the worst president ever.
I didn't say that. I said guilty of crimes.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. So now that the groundwork is laid, ladies and gentlemen, so you see, he believes that the 2020 election was rigged. He believes
Said that.
He believes that Donald Trump isn't responsible for January 6th, and he believes that Joe Biden is a criminal. All right, so let's get started. Do you have some questions for me? Actually, I have some questions about you for you, to be quite honest. I mean, but you should
Yeah.
go first. Go first, because I'm trying to get to know you, and there's a couple of questions I got that I want to ask you to try to figure out where you stand on some very serious issues.
I I don't have any questions at the moment, so you can go ahead.
All right, all right. Okay, so I mean, and I got my notes here so that I can kind of keep track of, when I do these kind of conversations, I can keep track on where you stand. Okay, what is your opinion on gun laws in this country?
Mm,
Do you believe we need more gun laws?
I believe it should be stricter, but I don't want them to like violate our rights. No.
Well, when you say you want them to be stricter, could you elaborate on that? I mean, because I don't want to put words in your
I
mouth.
believe that they should ban automatics.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What else?
Mm, stricter background checks. I don't know.
Okay. All right, I'm just double checking that I understand where you stand. And so, and so, do you believe anything like the Democrats are trying to take away your rights, your gun rights, or anything like that? You don't believe any of that?
No, this no.
Okay, all right. And so, with that being said, now that I know that you believe in these stricter gun laws, and these are things that Democrats are aligned with, right? What is your issue in terms of why do you think there's not any legislation getting passed from the Republican Party on these things?
What?
I said, why do you think there's not any legislation coming from the Republican Party to get these kind of things done? Because this is stuff that I believe Democrats want to do, but it's not getting
Well,
done.
I know that Democrats keep voting stuff down, but
Mm.
this is really not what we were supposed to be talking about.
Oh, well, what did you want to talk about? Because I wanted to ask you some more questions. I'm trying to figure out where you stand on very serious issues. What about you want to talk race relations? Do you believe in institutional racism?
No.
Do you think it exists in this country?
Sure, but I
Oh,
don't believe in it.
so you believe it exists in this country, but you don't believe that. How do you reconcile that from your vantage point? Because that's kind of interesting that you would say
Well,
you
I mean,
believe it exists.
I believe it exists, but I believe it's nonsense.
Oh,
Yeah.
in what sense?
Well, I mean, it's similar to how you race bait. It's all it is. It's like we're never going to get over racism if we keep talking about
So you believe that racism somehow just started in this country
it.
as a result of me?
I do know one thing: you Democrats love misconstruing my words.
No, because you said we'll never get over racism, and I'm trying to think. I'm like, wait a second. George Washington, one of the founding fathers, when they, put together the whole Declaration of Independence, was race an issue then?
Look,
Was it
let me answer this.
retribution?
There's always
Retribution.
going. There's
Was
always
it a
going.
was it an issue when George Washington was, around during that period of time? Was race an issue?
It's always been an issue.
So your statement, we can't get past this if we keep bringing it up. How do you reconcile that with the fact that it's been around since George Washington was around? Don't you want to take that back a little bit?
No, I don't. Because all that's happening is we constantly keep talking about something that's happened in the past. We don't need to talk about it anymore. There are a lot of people just like me who do not judge people based on their color of their skin. Okay?
And what about those who do judge people based on the color of their skin?
Well, I mean, we
Because
all know,
because this is why I'm doing this, right? Retribution, because a majority of my content is covering Donald Trump, right?
but we all
And
know that he's not racist. Come on, man.
no. I'm not even getting to that point. And so what I want to do is give you the opportunity to actually let people know who you are, what you stand for. And because we can go back and forth about all the stuff that I tend to cover, but I'm really trying to get a firm understanding of where you stand when it comes to these kind of things. And so when we talk about race relations and your response to me is, well, we just need to quit talking about it, you can understand how that doesn't sit too well with me, right?
No,
Oh, so
because
so
hey, let me put it this way: your victim mentality is the problem.
well, how do you define a victim mentality? I've never heard anyone say that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because I
The
don't
victim
necessarily
mentality today
subscribe
is
to that.
surreal.
I don't.
Everybody seems to be a victim, especially Democrats.
Yeah. So give me an example of a victim mentality when it comes to race, if you don't mind, because I'm trying to really
Well, we've
make
all
sure. Is it wrong for a person to speak against or be anti-racist? In your opinion, is it wrong for people to promote accurate information when it comes to American history as it relates to things like
is
slavery?
it
Is that
wrong to
something?
race bait? Is it wrong to
Huh?
race bait?
I don't even know what race baiting means, to be honest with you.
Means you're bringing up a subject, a controversial subject, knowing that you're trying to put down your opposition.
But
You're
why
trying to
not
make me
have?
look bad. And it's,
But
we're talking about something that I don't think we should even be talking about.
but retribution. This is how I see it, right? If it's an important issue, we should talk about it. It doesn't, and if it requires you to have a tough conversation, I don't think you should. A person
Well,
that
if we're
claims
going
to
to
be
talk about race,
if
then
it,
couldn't we talk about race that happened like 1,000 years from now? You do realize that my ancestors were enslaved.
no. I don't realize that unless you turn your camera on. Can you turn your camera on so I can
Well,
realize that?
I'm from the Scottish background. Yeah, I'm sure
Okay.
you.
Was there any laws on the books in this country about people with Scottish backgrounds
It
and how
wasn't
they
in
were?
this country. It was the English.
Okay, so we're talking about the United States. But honestly, and here's the thing though, I don't want to minimize that. If it was a situation where we needed to have that conversation, I would be comfortable having that conversation because number one, I would want to learn, right? I would want to learn how somehow your family was a victim, right?
It doesn't take much research to learn about this.
Morning Star, thank you. But my thing here is this, and then I'll move on to my next topic, right? When it comes to the thing about racism and race relations in this country, I believe, and this is just my opinion, I don't think we should sweep it under the rug and try to make it look like it's in the past because to be quite honest, it's still going on. You heard about these cops in Mississippi, right? That assaulted these black men.
So
You
what you're
heard of
saying is we should make it look worse than it is, because that's what you're doing.
No. I think we should tell it like it is. I don't think you should
Elaborate.
ignore it.
Elaborate.
Okay. So let's just say somebody does something like commits a crime, right? Is
Sure.
it making it worse by actually going through the facts and evidence about that crime and using it to actually prevent crime again?
Sure. Sure.
Is it that makes it worse?
No. I meant
Oh,
no.
okay, right? And so what you got to understand is for a lot of people out here, especially people who are a victim of this racist system that's out there that you acknowledged exists, this is constant crime being committed. You understand that, right? So when you
Based on race.
retribution, yeah, yeah. And so my ask for you retribution is when you're in spaces and you can actually use your voice to
You know
speak
that
up.
sounds racist in itself.
Wait a second, I was still talking. My hope is that when you're in spaces and you see stuff that is racist from your vantage point, because you have eyes, you have ears,
I don't
and
see
you
everything.
know
I don't see
you.
everything in color. If I see something racist, I just look away. It's not my. It's not my thing. People,
Wow, wow, retribution! I didn't know you would be such a individual. So if you see something racist, you just look away.
sure. Especially, well, I mean, if it's in right in front of my face, of course I'm going to say something about it. My own uncle said something just recently, and I didn't like it, and we're not talking because of it. Now, if that's what you're trying to set up a narrative that I'm racist. We both
No,
know
no, no,
that's
no,
not
no,
true.
no, 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 no. Remember, these are you and I are just having conversations.
Okay.
I'm really trying to get to know you. And I'm just going to say my position on it is if you're in a space when you see wrong happening and you are there, you can have the opportunity to use your voice to speak up and speak against it. Why not do it?
Let me put it this way: I've been stabbed for interacting in a had nothing to do with me. So of course I'm going to react to certain situations. But racism, that's a touchy subject because you don't
Okay.
really know who started it.
Okay.
I've been on a bus where two people went at it and they were both saying racial comments towards each other. But who do I stick
But
up for at that point? I don't know who started it,
you should definitely stick up for what's right.
but I don't know what's with right in this
No, but
situation.
so
Who
you're
started it? Who
so
started it? I don't know who
okay.
started it.
Let me ask you this: Are you for racism or are you against it?
Obviously against it.
Okay, so your the side you should be picking is the side that's against being
But
racist.
that's the problem you're not understanding. If I come into a conversation that started already, I don't know who started it. I
I
could
get
yell at
that.
you like you guys are being childish.
Right. Well, I'm not asking you to do that. I'm not telling you to get in the middle of something, but I'm asking you when you are in a like this conversation you and I are having, we both should be able to agree that we don't promote racism, and if we see it, we can call it out, and we have no problem doing it. The response that you said earlier, and I think you said it maybe accidentally, but it didn't sit well when you said, "Oh, I just turned the other way." That part I was a little confused and concerned
Well,
about.
that's only because if it's the situation, I cannot really determine who's at fault. I'm not going to get into it because it's just two idiots going back and forth.
Well, so I'll just say this, and then I got another question. My hope is that after this conversation, that you get a little more proactive about calling out things that are racist, all right, and engaging in real conversations without referring to the people that you're
Like race
talking to
baiting,
as, yeah, yeah. You don't need to say that.
you race bait quite a bit, man. I mean, this is what your
No,
attempt here was, but
but this is, you know what that
you
means
failed.
to, when people tell me I race bait, you know what that tells me?
Mm.
You don't have the ability to have honest conversations about race.
No, I don't remember which famous person said this, but they said if you want racism to stop, stop talking about it.
And I asked you, has that worked since George Washington? And the answer was no. Race has always been an issue in this
It came a
country.
long way. It came a
I
long way.
No, no, no. You said stop.
Yeah,
Okay. It never has stopped. And that's been over
that's
400
because of
plus.
people like you that want to talk about it and race bait.
I'm not 400 years old. See, you know what, Retribution? I'm going to move it on because
Yes, yes.
obviously, you still have a lot more work to do, right? But I'll say this.
Yeah.
I'll say this.
I have the work to do.
I'm very concerned about you when it comes to
Oh,
race.
I think we are all concerned about you, Zeus.
Okay, all right. Next thing I want to talk about is border security. How comfortable are you with that? I'm not an expert at immigration, but these are questions that are on my mind. What do I have here? Sanctuary states or cities or tighter borders? How do you feel about that?
Repeat, you cut out there?
I said sanctuary states or cities, right? You're familiar with those, right?
Sure.
What is your opinion about them, or do you prefer, tougher immigration, closing the borders type of stuff?
Uh, we definitely need our border secure, if that's what you're asking me.
Yeah, but we're not disputing that. But what is your opinion about, because you heard these things about sanctuary cities, Democrat ran cities,
Well,
you know,
let me
we're letting
respond
it.
back. Is the border secure right now? In
It's
your
just
opinion? In
yeah,
your opinion? Yeah.
yeah.
So what about all these illegals coming into the country?
Well, I wouldn't call them illegals. I would call them maybe immigrants or
No,
migrants.
no, no. They're illegals. Come on, man.
No, 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 no. Because again, these are human
Were
beings.
did they go through the due process?
A lot of them did.
Do
They might listen. I'm not saying that there's not people who are getting through illegally, but
you
I'm
think we have
saying,
terrorists in this country now since this has all happened?
well, you don't want to ask me about terrorists. You really don't. You really don't. So I'm just asking you, what?
Yeah, let's get on to
Because
it.
no, no, no. Because I'm confused, or I guess concerned about your position. You believe that a majority of people in this country, coming from those countries, are in here illegally. That's your position.
Did I say that?
And,
As,
and then the other side of this is, what is the role the Republican Party is playing in all of this, based on your observation? Because I get it that there's these migrants and these,
you do
they're in these.
realize I'm not Republican. I'm Democrat.
Okay, okay, but can you answer my question? I don't necessarily take people at their word when they say stuff like that. I don't. I mean,
Okay.
there's
Well, I
a
mean,
friend,
these days
there's
I do.
somebody. Listen, there's somebody named conservative Democrat, right? So I
Uh,
don't, just because people say, they're Democrat, and there's Democrats for Trump and all this other stuff. That's irrelevant. I want to know where
that
you
doesn't
stand.
set well with you, does it?
No, I just want to know where you stand.
Well, I mean, if anything, I identify as MAGA more than anything these days.
Okay,
Okay.
so what is the Republicans' role when it comes to immigration and all of this? Hey, G man.
You tell me.
No, you're this.
I'm
This
not
is
Republican, so how would I know?
well. What you're saying, are the borders open or closed? I told you they're closed, right? I don't
No.
know. If, I don't
So
know of
why don't
any.
you elaborate?
Okay, I don't know of any law on the books that says it's a free for all. Come on in, anyone.
Okay, answer me
I
this.
don't. I
Was
don't
there
know. I don't
ever
know of any of that. Do
every
you know
president
anything like
every
that?
president has allowed citizens to come in this country, become citizens, okay? Do you know what the amount is typically? It's like 300K or something like that. I can't remember, to be honest. The precise,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 3 million precise. Now, we're at what, 20?
It's good. So I mean, but you're not answering my question.
You didn't answer mine right now. You're
I
saying
didn't.
the border is
I'm
secure,
asking
but
you.
we have under Biden, under this administration, there are more flooding in than ever before. So
I
you
mean,
think it's secure?
when you say flooding in, that's not what I have. That's not what I've observed, and I believe
You haven't
also.
observed these big
No, no,
crowds coming in.
that was happening during Trump's presidency too, especially during the pandemic. You remember the caravans. I mean, that's the issue that's going to always be an issue because of the nature of the way the United States was founded. You know
Under Trump.
how this country was colonized, right? You know that this land really didn't technically belong to the
Under Trump,
Europeans, right?
he
So
built a
so
specific amount of wall.
so
How much wall did Biden build?
Trump didn't build the entire wall, and
He
Mexico
built
didn't
he
pay
built a
for it.
lot of that wall. How much has Biden built?
Retribution.
Oh, you're not going to answer my question, are you?
Did Trump make Mexico pay for it? Because
I
if you
don't
want to
care
say
who
Trump, if
paid
you want,
for it. I don't care who paid for it. All I care is if it was up.
so if Trump built the wall, then definitely that means the border is
All right,
closed.
you know what?
No, do you hear what I'm saying?
You know what? You kind of enticed him. He sent me just a text. Conservative wants to come up.
I don't see conservative.
He'll come in soon. He'll come in soon. But
Okay, okay,
go
but
ahead, respond with you.
okay, tell him to send a guest request. The other thing that I want to say though is, did the wall fix the issue? The one that you said Trump built. Whatever miles you say he built, and you
Sure,
want to
it
give
did.
him credit.
Have you seen the wall now?
No, no, no. So it fixed the problem, correct?
It made the problem better.
Okay. No, I don't know how it made the problem better.
Well, it's
There's your
definitely not
backup.
a negative. It was definitely a positive. Did you see the wall compared to our last one when he built that wall?
Conservative, you gotta mute. You gotta mute, champ. Jesus Christ, he's too much background noise.
I'm gonna mute myself for a moment. Let him talk for a
No, no,
moment.
no, 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 no. You both can talk. I just don't want the background noise. Unmute, unmute. Retribution. My point to you is the wall didn't work because if it did, you wouldn't be crying about immigration right now. All right. And the other
Am
point
I
that I wanted
crying?
to, and
Am
then
I
the other point,
crying?
well, you said there's a problem. So,
Oh,
and then the other
are
point
you
that I
getting
want,
mad at me, huh?
the other point that I wanted to make is when we tried to work with the Republicans, Joe Biden and the Democrats, they didn't want to do it because they didn't want to give Biden a victory. So that's the
No,
other
that
issue.
was
And
a
if
horrible. That was
and,
horrible.
and,
What
so
victory?
to me
Wait a minute. What
personally,
victory is
listen,
this?
I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert, but to
What
me
victory is
personally,
this? What
what was
victory?
that?
What victory?
They didn't want to give Biden a victory. Basically, they didn't want it to look like President Biden was very good at working across the table when it came to, immigration. Because, there's been a lot of bipartisan progress under President Biden. That's what I'm talking about. They don't want to do anything that helps President Biden get reelected conservative Democrat. That's what I
You're
meant.
talking about when it came down to voting for the bill for the border?
Correct.
Ah,
Yeah. Because you remember Donald Trump went on record and said he's the reason it didn't get passed. You do remember that, right?
Yes, and I
Yes.
everybody
Okay.
completely agree
Okay.
with him.
together,
I agree with him.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a
Okay.
horrible
everybody
Now
bill.
together
let's move on
to
to my
fund
next
the
question, gentlemen,
Oh,
because
why don't we just stick to that one? You're talking
because
about
we
you asked us.
we talked about race, right? Didn't we talk about race? We talked about 2A, right? We're talking about immigration. I'm trying to get to know
Wait
where
a minute.
you
Let's
both
The
talk about
moment we
race.
make
I
a
wasn't
point,
in
you
here,
want
dude.
to switch.
Wait a
you
minute.
haven't you
Wait a
haven't
minute.
made a point. That's the
Wait
thing.
a minute.
Okay.
Fellas, I want to talk about race. Let's talk about races.
Well, we can't go back there right now, but what do you want to say real quickly?
I believe that anybody who goes around identify people by their race is racist.
Okay, but that's not the only thing that makes a person racist.
Well, that's what you guys do.
And when you say you guys, can you elaborate on that? Because
Well, which lies in particular?
conservative Democrat. I think people who make statements like what you just did, I think that's racist. Because because all you're doing is trying to give yourself an excuse to be racist when you
But
say stuff like that. You do
basically,
know
you're
that.
doing
I'm
the
the one
same he
that's
just
not
did. You're
identifying
doing the
people
same he
by
just
their
did.
color.
Wait, did you hear what I said?
Did you hear what I said? I'm not the one identifying people by their color. You are.
Yeah, and you know what that sounds like to me, a person of color. Let me explain to you. It sounds like you're giving yourself an excuse to be racist.
Let me ask you this. Well,
No,
hold
no,
on.
no. Wait. Did that sink in? Did that sink in?
No. You're race baiting. That's all it
No.
is. Let me ask you this.
Um,
Let me ask you this.
So you're just going to ignore stuff like that, especially when I say it. Why? Because see, I don't want to go there and say,
Let me ask you
"Are you
this.
just
Of
ignoring me because I'm a
all the
person
people
of
on this
color?" Wait a
planet.
second. Retribution and you
what
wanted to
is
go
your
back on
life?
race.
Go ahead.
You
What is
wanted to go
your
back
life?
on.
Go ahead.
You wanted to go back on race, and I'm telling you that comment made me feel like you were minimizing my message. And it actually made me feel like you only did that because I'm a person of color. And I would hate to
Oh
think
my
that's really what
god.
it is.
I just told you I don't identify people by their
Oh man.
race.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Okay. So do you still want to talk race or you want to get
Sure.
back to the
Let's keep
to the
talking.
main
That's
Let's keep
all right. Let's
talking.
go back to the wall.
No. Oh, well, I'm
I
done
don't
with the
mind talking
wall.
about
You have
race.
no
You obviously,
solutions.
you
Well,
obviously
there
are
was a
paying attention.
solution, but
Okay, talk to me about the wall. Did Donald Trump finish building the wall?
well, if he didn't have to deal with all these witch hunts, he'd have got a lot more done, wouldn't he have?
Well, you didn't answer my question. Did Biden build any wall? Any of the
Wait
Can
a
walls?
I
minute,
go?
look at it.
No,
You
let's
know
go
what
back.
Trump had to do to get the funding for that? He had to shut down the government. But it isn't a problem sending our money to Ukraine.
Okay, well, you're jumping ahead, conservative Democrat. I want to say this thing though about Trump would have been able to do more. Had what was that part you said? I just want to make sure I caught on to what you said because
He
that
didn't
was
have to
it.
deal with all the witch hunts.
Okay, the witch hunts. A lot of the problems Donald Trump is dealing with are because of the things he did. These are all self-inflicted. You do realize that, correct? You do realize that, right?
What did he do? While he
Huh?
was president, what did he do?
He spent all day on social media attacking people.
Oh, is that a crime?
No, but it definitely gives other people the opportunity to get
It's
him
what you
tied up.
do all day.
Am
Wait
I
a
the
minute.
president? Am I
Did
the
that
president?
did that stall him from
Yes.
Hey,
completing his
we're
job?
all Americans, right?
Retribution,
The
conservative
president's
Democrat.
American.
Can we finish this conversation? Donald Trump spent a lot of time golfing, watching TV, and on Twitter instead of actually learning the duties of the
And Biden
position.
hasn't spent most of his time on the beach. Are you serious?
I'm not talking
On
about
vacation?
Biden. I'm not talking
Oh,
about Biden.
we're just talking
I'm
about
just
Trump.
I'm trying to
I
make
get it. I
sure.
get it.
Can I let? I'm just trying to answer conservative Democrats' claim about a witch hunt. And by the way, is Donald Trump a witch?
It's a
No.
figure of speech,
So it's
dude.
not okay. It's a figure of speech. This is what I mean. It's kind of out there, right? It's really far out, if you
Yeah,
ask me. Now I want to talk about.
we're the professionals on
You
that.
brought up Joe Biden, and you said something about him. Honestly, do you believe that Donald Trump or Joe Biden are experiencing any type of cognitive decline? Either of them?
Well, we obviously seen that with Biden.
You believe
Obviously.
Biden is losing it, right?
Do you seen his speech where he turns to shake someone's hand that's not there?
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've seen things, and I say, that's an elder
Let's
gentleman
let's
right
talk
there.
about the latest thing he did. His family member being eaten. Come on, man.
Well, he has a bit of a speech impediment, but I'm glad
Speech
that you're.
impediment. Are you serious? Are
Yeah.
you
Yeah. A
blaming his
stutter. A
imagination
stutter.
on speech impediment?
Yeah, but you know what? I'm going to say that. I'm going to say, I'll give you that. Maybe he does have something. What about Donald Trump? Do you
No.
think Donald Trump is experiencing any kind of cognitive decline?
Well, he's definitely old, but he's
By
definitely
far better than Joe Biden.
yeah, he's definitely there more than Biden is.
I would have respected you both if you could honestly say both of them are. I would have respected you both.
But
But
Trump
you
cannot
but you're
act like Biden. Like
It
he
doesn't
can actually
compare.
go through entire like he's been rallying it. He doesn't sit there and he's
Do you watch Trump's speeches?
uh.
Do you watch his speeches and his rallies? When he starts to slur words and poop his pants and stuff like that. You
No.
don't ever see this when he says he's running against Obama. And he gets Nikki Haley confused with Nancy
Are you
Pelosi.
perfect, Zeus? Are you perfect?
Oh no,
Hey,
Oh.
you got that, Billy? Why don't you pull something up for us?
No,
Tell
he's,
us.
no,
he's correct about what he just said, but
no. I'm
the
just
man's
trying to
not
be.
allowed to make a mistake.
No, 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 no. I'm just trying to get you both to see the issue here, right?
We're trying
No.
to
I,
You're
help
trying to
you.
set up a narrative. That's what you're
no,
trying
no,
to do.
no. I honestly, that would have been if you and we all could have agreed. Yes, there's some cognitive decline on both of them. If we all could have came to that conclusion, I would have said, you know what,
Yeah.
Retribution and Conservative Democrat, these guys, they're fair. But the fact of the matter was, you seem to be very, very critical of President Biden. But then when it became down to Donald Trump, you had all of these
Yeah,
excuses,
you're right. I
I have
don't
no
agree with
excuse.
you. I don't agree with
right?
you.
I
Trump
mean,
makes mistakes.
but
That's
it's
what they
not
are.
me. It's not me. It's the facts. Can't you be
The fact
more
is, the man made mistakes, but by far,
okay?
he
Then we'll give
represents
that.
us a lot better than Joe Biden.
Okay, and I can say the same thing about Joe Biden, right? He made some mistakes, but he represents me far
No, no,
better
no,
than
no,
Donald
no. He
Trump.
doesn't.
That-
He
Ow,
doesn't
wait a
only
minute.
make mistakes. He blunders his way through his campaign. Come on, man.
no, no, because then I'm going to ask you the other question: if Donald Trump was such a good leader and a president, why didn't he get a second term?
Well, we know that. We know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. You see,
We know.
Hey,
We
but
know.
we'll
We
be
know. Come
around
on,
next year.
man. We
Let's talk
know.
about it when the truth is allowed to be talked about.
no, the truth is always welcome. This is the closet of truth, gentlemen.
You mean the closet of lies?
Well, to you it is. To you it is. I understand this is very, very hard to deal with, right? All right. So let's move on to my next question. The conflict going on in Ukraine, Israel, China, and Palestine, right? You're familiar with that, right? What do you think the United States should do when it comes to these countries?
World peace, like Trump said. That's what he should be doing, not genociding everybody.
What else? I mean, that to me, that doesn't seem to be a very in-depth response.
Wow. I know one
I'm
day
curious because we know what Joe
we should
That's
Biden is
be
simple.
doing.
sending money to
It,
Ukraine.
wait a
We
minute. Wait a minute. It's that
thank you,
simple.
Shay. No,
You
no, no.
support Joe Biden's genocide.
Do I? There is no such thing.
Why?
Are you kidding
Why
me?
are these soldiers
They're
setting
so
themselves
good at
on fire
researching,
then?
they don't know the truth
No,
about
no,
that.
no. Okay, so number one, there's been no finding that Joe Biden has engaged or funded genocide. And if you have the evidence, you know
Not
what?
funding
No,
the
no, no,
war?
no, 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 no. But listen, conservative Democrat, if you have evidence, do you have any right now, like a screenshot that shows that he did? If so, I will take that back. And I
You know
promise
that's
you I
not
will.
welcome on this platform.
No, no, no. Do you have the screenshot? I could be wrong.
Oh, you're wrong.
If you have the evidence that Joe Biden is funding a genocide and that they've investigated this and
Okay,
produced a
it's this
report that
simple, Zeus.
showed,
It's this simple, Zeus. How much money has Joe Biden provided for war?
you mean how much money has Congress authorized?
Okay, sure.
Okay, so conservative Democrat again. If you're gonna put that on Biden, you got to put that on the entire Congress too.
You do realize he can refute that.
No, no, no,
He has
no,
the
no.
time.
Retribution. Why,
When he
why, why
when
do
he
you,
attacked Gimel,
why?
did he go
Wait a
through
second.
Congress? Did he go
Why
to?
do, gentlemen, why do you two insist on burying your heads in the sand when I
Oh
present
my
to
God,
you
that's
real
hilarious.
information?
That's hilarious.
Biden,
Yeah.
the money that the funding that's been authorized for Ukraine, that's been authorized by Congress,
And
correct?
who's pushing it through Congress?
Your representatives.
You know he could
Joe
decline
Biden.
that. You know he can. He could
So you don't
very
want
easily.
Biden to do his job. Congress authorizes
Yes,
the funding, and you
yes, we
want
do.
Biden to say,
You do
"I'm
Secure
realize
not
our
going.
borders.
I'm
you
not.
do.
Wait.
Fix our
Con-
economy.
wait. Congress is supposed to do what? Represent the will of the American people to a certain extent, correct? So you want President Biden to put a damp on that and say, I'm not going to do or follow through with the will of the
Yeah.
American people. I'm not going to. See, this is the
Will of
The
issue.
the
will,
American
listen,
people.
Yes.
the
No.
will of the American people is they want peace. Like Trump said, he would have it fixed in 24 hours. We all believe him. And that's why he's going to get my vote.
What is Donald Trump going to do in 24 hours to fix this conflict? Because
Wow.
but let me finish my question. How can he fix what's happening over there when the man's own house is in disorder? Meaning he's sitting here with four criminal trials that he's fighting. He's got court case when it comes to these civil cases. The man can't even protect himself. Why do you think he can
He
protect the rest
can't
of this
protect
world?
himself from political prosecution. No, nobody
Okay,
can.
so no, but you didn't answer my question.
I just did.
If he can't protect himself here, what makes you think he can protect you?
He's doing fine.
Wait a second, who's doing all that beating?
He's doing fine, man. He's doing fine.
You think Donald Trump is doing fine?
Oh yeah, look at Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, Fannie Willis. Come
Okay,
on,
so
man.
you did
Who else are you guys gonna throw at him?
so you didn't answer the question about what should the United States' response be for the Ukraine conflict, for the Israel conflict, for Taiwan and China?
Well,
What is the
personally, what
United
I
States?
would have done was when it started, I would have set peacekeepers into Ukraine to negotiate.
There was already a peace treaty on the table.
Yep. And that stopped. That was thrown out. Why? Why do you think that was thrown out, huh?
You
Because
tell
there was
me.
funding for
Oh, are
war.
you not informed?
I'm not informed on all of the conspiracies that you two have been researching.
Conspiracy. Oh my God.
So there
Right.
was
So,
no peace talks between Russia and Ukraine.
do you have the evidence? Because I'm pretty sure this is just my opinion.
This is coming from somebody who never shows their source when they're talking about an article or anything like that because it fits your narrative.
And this is coming from somebody who won't turn
Hypocritical,
on
man.
their. This is coming from somebody who won't turn their camera on because they're ashamed of what
Why
they look
does
like.
why does me turning my camera have anything to do with politics? Like literally,
Be-
man. Use a little common sense here.
I'm trying to get you to understand how ridiculous you sound and look. That's why I want you to turn on your camera.
Now you're personally attacking your opposition. Perfect.
I don't even consider you both my opposition.
No,
I consider you both to be some grossly
Why are we
misinformed
here?
Guys
individuals.
spelling.
Okay. So do you believe that we should follow through on our commitments to our allies or not?
If they pay.
Yes, I do. But the
Wow.
commitment also involves negotiating peace, like Trump did during his presidency.
What did Trump negotiate peace with? Because last I checked, the reason
the
we're in
Abraham
this
Accords?
situation, yeah, that's part of the reason we're in this. Because get this, do you remember when Trump gave the secrets about Israel to Russia? You remember that in the White House?
That's fake news, man.
See how I did. See this is why. This is kind of why I don't
Well,
really
come on.
waste my
Show
time
me some
talking to
proof.
you.
Yeah, show us some proof.
Show this some
No,
receipts.
we're just having
Oh,
we're
you
just
don't
having
have
a
the receipts, do
conversation.
you?
How about this? How about this? How about this? Let me go ahead and pull it up for you. How about that? If
Yeah.
now as I'm pulling this up, would you be willing to concede once I produce the information?
Depends on the source.
See this now. See this is why I'm not even going to waste my time.
Oh,
Okay. So at the end of the day, you don't believe the United States should follow through on its commitments to its allies. Got it.
It
That's
doesn't
your
mean
position. That's why. That's
Zeus.
why. That's why
Zeus.
I say what I
Zeus.
say about what.
You were
Wait a minute.
definitely good for a laugh, Zeus.
Our
I'll tell you
commitment
that
to our
much.
allies is not to fund war.
No,
There's many solutions.
that's not the commitment. Where did
That's
you get
right.
that from? Where the heck did you get that from?
From what's happening today, Zeus.
No. You said our commitment to our allies is to not fund war. And this thing that you all
It's
like to
not
say,
just
listen.
to fund war.
This thing that you all like
There's
to bring
other
up and
options.
say, you like to say, there were no wars under Donald Trump. Well, there were wars under other presidents. Are you familiar with the Civil War?
Well, I'm going to go back to
No,
what
no,
you
no, no,
said.
no,
We're
no, no,
talking
no, no,
about
no, 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 no,
Trump.
no.
Let's
Wait,
talk about
but
Trump.
I wanna shatter that narrative that just because there was war or not war, it means something. All right. So there was a civil war. No, no, no. There was a
Peace
civil
under
war.
Trump.
There was
There
a
was more
civil
peace under
war.
Trump.
There was a civil war, and that was under Abraham Lincoln.
You're talking about something that
We had
happened.
a
What?
war under George Washington. Listen,
1864.
we had a war under George Washington for our independence. So this narrative that there was no war and that makes a person a good president means
We're
absolutely
talking about
nothing.
current events. We're not talking about the past,
No,
Zeus.
wait a minute. It
But
does
what I'm
mean a
saying
lot. It does mean
what
a
I'm
lot
saying
because
is it's the non
your president
sequitur.
started what, 3 wars?
I'm saying it's a non sequitur. You can't use that to justify. And if you look at any of the polls that have happened
It does,
recently,
because you
Donald
guys
Trump isn't polling as one of the best
Sir,
presidents. He's actually polling as the
sir,
worst president.
Zeus.
Yeah,
It
I'm
doesn't
telling
matter
you the
what.
Democrat
truth.
narrative
I'm
Are
stuff.
you a
telling you the
pole
truth.
worshiper,
That's
Zeus? Is that what it
Democrat
is?
narrative.
Okay, so let's move on.
You
My
guys'
next question,
position
gentlemen. My
was
next
that Trump
question. My
was
next
going to start
question.
World War III.
Listen,
It
you're
didn't
you're you're
happen
you're
to
you're
him.
all lying. You're both still lying. Do you believe there's a two-tier justice system? That's my next question. And we only got
Absolutely.
20 minutes. We only got 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Okay, could you describe the two-tier justice system?
Well, let's take E. Jean Carroll for an example. Did you know that there was an unregistered weapon found in her house, loaded?
What about it? And what happened with that?
The police confiscated it, and there was no charges
No
filed.
charges.
If that was a
Okay,
That's a
conservative
felony.
Trump supporter, they would have
oh,
went to prison for 4 years.
okay. So first, I need to understand what is a two-tier justice system from your understanding of it, because to me, it makes no sense.
Of course it does. You've been hearing it for how long now?
Let me ask you this,
Exactly what
Zeus.
it
Do
is.
you think the DOJ is being weaponized against Trump right now?
No.
Why? I mean, a lot of this is, I mean, this fraud case, for example, it violated his Eighth Amendment. That bell was set way too high, and that's why they reduced it to 175. There's your two tiers justice system right there, bud.
But that okay, define let's get a concrete definition of what a two-tier justice system is. Not I don't want an example. I want a
Oh, you don't
definition.
example. Okay.
What
Yeah, we're
define
not
what
going to
a
go
two
that deep into it,
Yeah.
Zeus, because I know where you're going.
so in other words, it doesn't exist.
Of course it does, but you're trying to get us to
No, I'm trying to
put a
get you
foot in
two
our
to
mouth.
give me something to understand about what you're talking
You're
about. I
trying to get
use
it.
this term two-tier because this is what Donald Trump likes to say.
You're trying to
But
get your minions to report us. That's what you're doing.
they're not reporting.
Sure.
Yeah,
Haven't
'cause
you
I haven't been going through that.
so
Mm-hmm.
You guys.
So here we are, 45 minutes into the show, and your
You're
defense or
selling your narrative.
your excuse is people are going to report you. If they were going to report you, they would have already done it. They're
They
just as
have.
curious
They
as
can't report yet.
Yeah, because
They
I'm
haven't
not
said
going to give
anything
them a reason.
reportable.
I know
they're
you're
just
seeking out that reason.
they're just as curious as I am about who you two are, what you stand for. That's it.
Yeah. Oh,
You
okay.
stand for good and truth.
Okay, so two-tier justice system, you believe it exists, but you don't want to define it. Got it. And you believe somehow Donald Trump is the victim of a two-tier justice system, correct?
What was that?
You believe Donald Trump is the victim of a two-tier justice system, correct?
I mean, do you need us to answer questions, the same questions over and over?
I know. We've
Do
already
you
answered
do
this
you
question
believe Hunter Biden? Do you believe Hunter Biden might be the victim of a two-tier justice system?
No. Well,
Why?
kind of. He did get away with
He's
a
privileged,
lot.
that's for sure.
So he's Hunter Biden is a victim of a two-tier justice system.
He's not a
No, he's getting
victim.
privilege.
He's a privilege.
So Hunter Biden is benefiting from it.
Being the president's son, I believe so.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so let me tell you why I think this is ridiculous.
You do realize
Because
that
because
impeachment was exactly about that
what impeachment?
back in 2021 for Biden.
Biden was impeached?
Well, it was brought up, but and
What were they going to impeach Biden of?
are you serious?
Yeah.
I got a call. I'll get back to that though.
Okay.
Yeah,
So let me get back to doing what I was doing with you, conservative Democrat, because Retribution is struggling to keep his story straight. The reason I have an issue with this two-tier justice thing is because here we have a defendant out with 88 felony charges, right, in 4 different venues, who's violating gag orders, right, who's terrorizing jurors, all right, terrorizing witnesses,
I've
and
never
guess
witnessed so
and,
much fascism.
and guess what? Guess what? He hasn't been placed in handcuffs yet.
Yeah, that's right. No
That to
conviction.
me, that's kind of interesting because
If
where
he's
I'm
innocent.
from,
If he
where I'm
wasn't, he'd be in jail, right? Just because you
well,
guys like to be the judge and jury doesn't mean you're anything.
no, no. I'm talking about the two-tier justice system. I just don't understand how he could still not be in prison after violating the law
Because
like that.
it doesn't work that way, Zeus.
He
Just because hey,
obviously,
listen, but just because you want him to be guilty doesn't mean he is.
no, I'm talking about 88 felony charges and violating gag orders and violating all the judge's orders, right? How's he still not in prison at this point? We're not talking about him actually going to
The
court
only
yet.
thing he did
How's
wrong,
he?
according to the courts, was he talked, and that's not right. It's unconstitutional to take people's free speech, especially an ex-president.
Wait. They didn't do anything like that.
Yeah, they
They
did
just
put a gag
basically
order on him. Remember?
they said he can't intimidate the witness. He can't go after the judge's
That's
family
not
and
what he
stuff
did.
like that.
He
That's
walked
what.
out and talked to the media.
Oh, so you don't follow him on Truth Social?
No.
Oh, well, you should follow him on Truth Social, conservative. I mean, this is your guy.
What,
See,
because
this is the thing. This is the
because
thing,
of people like
conservative
you,
Democrat.
Zeus. Let's
Because
not
of
talk about what Joe Biden does wrong.
it, it,
Let's not talk about how he wrecks our country.
that's a
Worst
lie.
economy in 50 years.
That's a lie.
None of
That's
us
a,
feel safe, Zeus.
that's a lie.
It isn't a
Because,
lie. It's the
because
truth.
here's the deal. You're working, correct?
No, I'm not currently working. It's Saturday.
I mean, you have a job, you have a career, correct? Or are you unemployed?
I work, yes.
Okay. So this means you are making money in this economy after what we all experienced 4 years ago when this economy was on its knees as a result of Donald Trump. That's why I'm saying you're really out here making up a
Whoa.
lot of this
Well,
stuff.
explain
Hey,
that
please
comment you just made
explain
right now.
how that is.
How's it
Please
on the knee?
explain how that is.
Okay. Well, can you at least let me explain that without jumping in and interrupting me?
Sure.
All right. So during the 2020 election cycle, there was a lot going on, and one of the biggest things was the pandemic, right?
Sure.
And we all know Donald Trump didn't keep it straight with the American people about how dangerous that thing was. But
No
you
one
know,
knew.
we could all know he knew a lot more than he told us, right? But we could all see the stock market tanking, right? We all remember what it was like when we couldn't go get toilet paper, and there was all these people
Was
losing
that
their
Trump's
business,
fault?
losing their businesses,
Uh,
losing their jobs.
was that Trump's fault?
It happened under his administration, and because he dismantled the pandemic response team that Obama put in place, you're darn right it
People
was.
didn't
And,
lose.
and then and
Listen,
then
our
and
job
then listen up.
is
And
still Biden's
even after it was clear we were in a pandemic, he made it a point to lie because all he cared about was getting reelected. So to answer your question, you're darn right it was Trump's fault.
No, it wasn't.
Do you have anything to prove what you're saying?
Yeah, experience.
That's
Why?
not
That's
that's
not
not evidence.
experience. That's perspective.
Yeah.
So
And living stuff.
you weren't in the United States when any of this happened,
Of course
correct?
I was.
Okay, then why are you trying to say it was perspective?
And I'm talking about
You don't
your
remember the
perspective.
national lockdowns that
Bro.
Trump? You don't remember the national lockdowns that Trump implemented?
Sure.
You don't remember Operation Warp Speed?
Yes.
You don't remember Donald Trump actually contracting the virus? You don't remember him hosting super spreader events and his supporters losing their life like Herman Cain? You remember Herman Cain? You don't remember any of this? That is 100% Donald Trump's fault.
Lies.
Super spreaders. That's what ruined our country. It wasn't Joe Biden's mandates that made
See,
people lose their jobs.
See, I mean, I just
Leave the
wanted to make sure.
military.
Come on, man. Why
I
don't
just
you
wanted to
lie?
make sure that we're
Supply
not.
receipt. Why don't
You know what's
pretend
so
like-
funny? You know what's so funny? You say I won't give you an answer, Zeus, when I ask you tough questions because I don't want to get my live my account
You-
taken down. But
you
then,
asked-
but then, as
You
we
didn't answer
continue to
many of my
talk,
questions so far.
guess what you do? You lie.
That's not a lie. What did I lie about?
Because you act like the 4 years ago you weren't in this pandemic and that you weren't suffering because of Donald Trump's
Why would I
failed
be
leadership.
Why would
because
I
of
suffer?
Hey, Zeus, did you take the vaccine?
absolutely.
I didn't. I never
Okay.
caught it. I never caught it.
I mean, but that doesn't even change anything. That doesn't change the fact that
Oh.
Donald Trump drove our national debt through the roof.
How?
That doesn't change
Please
that he
explain
did
how, Zeus.
his terrible
How?
policies.
You do realize
What-
the
which
deficit.
one?
It
Wait a minute,
added
let's break this
4
down.
trillion to the deficit.
Huh?
COVID. That was not his fault.
I just explained to you how it was. Now, who got us out of the pandemic, gentlemen? Who was president when we
Was
came
it
out
Biden?
of
It was not Biden. That's what your narrative is. It was not Biden.
who was president when we got out of the pandemic?
And you think that was Biden?
It was him.
We all know his administration is running things. Come on, man.
I didn't ask you to go into conspiracy theory land
Oh, come
because let's just be honest. We accept, well, at least we both said there's some cognitive decline on both of these guys. So there's a Trump
more on
administration.
Biden now.
There's a
That's
Trump
what it's gonna
administration.
be.
Listen, there's a Trump administration and then there's a Biden administration. However you want to say it. The Biden administration got us out of the pandemic. It got the
Okay,
economy.
let me
It
ask
got
you
the
this.
listen. It
Let me
got
ask
the
you this.
economy back reopened.
Why doesn't
It got
Biden
our
wanna-
unemployment numbers down. All right.
Why doesn't
Okay.
Biden want to debate Trump?
Why would he? First of
You've
all,
been challenging him
I can't
over-
speak for President Biden, but I just got this to say about
Could
that.
it be that he's scared?
No, I got this to say about it. Donald Trump really needs to focus on those court cases he's going to be dealing with. That's why he doesn't have time to honestly debate.
He doesn't need to worry about
Same
it.
thing I've been hearing for 7 years.
But I'll say this: isn't it funny that out of all the potential Republican candidates that were running, Donald Trump refused to debate them? Why didn't he debate them? Oh, I can tell you why. Because he didn't want to have to bring up the record he had left behind. He did not want to talk about his record. So I think it would be a terrible idea for Donald Trump to actually.
He's been
Yeah,
asking.
he's trying to get out of court. He's trying his
The
hardest
only
to
reason
avoid.
he's trying to get out of court, Zeus, is because he wants to go watch his son graduate high school. But those corrupt judges in New York want to keep messing with Trump.
Okay, if you believe Donald Trump actually cares about Barron that much, then you got to also be able to explain, well, why did he cheat on Melania when she was pregnant with Barron with Stormy Daniels? What was that about?
What
If he
proof
really
is-
cared about his son, conservative Democrat, see, this is why I say you got to think about what you say before you say it.
How many times did he sue her?
Hey, this guy's setting up some narratives. Let me set up my own. Do you think Trump cares about our country?
No, Trump only cares about himself.
So why would he post an ad in the newspaper in 1986 for $95,000 criticizing the U.S. government's
I'm not a Trump supporter. I can't answer that nonsense. I've answered
Oh,
your
you're not a
initial
Trump
question.
supporter.
I've answered your
criticized
initial question. I said,
foreign
you
policy
asked
of our
me.
U.S. government.
Listen,
He obviously cared, and you know what? Oprah Winfrey, was it Larry King? They all asked him, "You gonna go in politics?" He's like, "Nah." He just cares. That's all he did. Do you know how much $95,000 was in '86?
Retribution. We're not even talking. You're in 1986 right now, bro.
Oh, but you
I'm
were
into-
talking about like 400 years ago, a moment ago. Come on, man.
Retribution. Can you stay on topic seriously, or let me, or just hit mute and let conservative Democrat tag conservative Democrat, please, Retribution, because you're out to lunch, bro. You're out of your league.
I'm out to lunch, huh?
Yeah. You're out of your league right now. So
I just proved you wrong. And how am I out of my league? Huh, champ?
Because here we are, we're talking about Donald Trump 4 years ago as president, and you went to 19
I
whatever.
asked you a question, you said no, and then I proved that he does care. So
So wait a second. Your position is that Donald Trump, number one, he really cares about Barron, because that's what we were talking about, right? Y'all really believe he cares about Barron?
sure.
Does he have to broadcast him being a father for you guys to have a good opinion about him?
No, because he didn't go to any of his other kids' graduations.
I have a video coming out to prove this, that he cares about his other kids.
Oh, y'all are something else. I mean, listen, I can't. I knew going into this conversation, gentlemen, that I wasn't going to really change your opinion. I knew that, but I didn't know that you would still be this ridiculous. Actually, I didn't know you would double down when it came to just being flat out liars and really ridiculous.
Okay, if we're liars, then why don't you? Because every Democrat I talk to about this, they just refute everything. What can you explain Biden's creepy behavior?
No, I can't, and I don't know what you're talking about.
The sniffing.
The
sniffing. Can you explain that?
That's just the way he is.
That's the way he is. If Donald Trump sniffed a child, you guys would you would literally crucify him.
So do you listen? Do you have anything where these people are coming out and saying, Biden has SA'd us and they're bringing cases against President Biden? Do you have anything like that? Because what I don't want to do is listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen.
Let him talk. Too.
I don't want to speak for other people. Right, so I'm basically saying those people need to speak up if they are feeling a certain type of way. Do you have anything from those people that you can share with Zeus right now to justify what you're saying? Because all of this stuff where you're looking at situations and sharing your opinion about it, it means nothing to me. Because the first thing that I'm going to do is say, okay, but what about these cases Donald Trump has with these women that are actually saying he didn't do just the sniffing, but he actually did things that were illegal and inappropriate.
We've seen the credibility of Jean Carroll, man. Come on.
It's 26 other women. And wait a second.
Wow.
And wait a second.
Why do they focus on Jean Carroll, though?
Wait a second. You've seen the credibility of Jean Carroll? You have?
Sure.
Okay, so what was the verdict in the case that they had?
Okay.
Did Donald Trump win that, in your opinion?
Look at the fraud case, man.
No, retribution. Retribution. Did Donald Trump win in the case with Jean Carroll?
Look at the defraud case that's happening right now. You were talking about
retribution.
Retribution a second ago.
Retribution.
Here's the example of it.
Retribution. The judge is the finder of fact. Correct?
Yeah, not that one, but you know what? I do think it's a win.
No.
Wait a minute.
You do realize everybody always accuse him of grape, but it was not grape. That was not great.
What was it?
It was SA. Not the same thing.
Wait a minute. It is. Hang on now.
No. It's not. It's not. It's not the same thing.
No, it is the same thing, but he wasn't. He was found innocent.
Abuse is the same thing as assault.
Retribution. Can you please mute and let conservative Democrats
no.
speak? Because you've embarrassed yourself quite a bit today.
I didn't actually.
Wow. I mean, and you know why it really is an issue?
Go look at the verdict.
Retribution. Let me ask you a question. You have nieces, you have daughters, perhaps, cousins.
If you're going to set up a narrative, just go ahead and ask.
What if they went through something similar and they told you I was great, and then some other person that was listening to that said, no, you weren't, you were just SA'd. What would you do?
It would depend. Like you seen the interview with Cooper, right? She said she wasn't. She said she wasn't thrown on the floor and ravished. So if you're going to set up a narrative, set up
retribution.
Make
retribution. Remember, and I had a conversation with you in your comments about that, and you thought it was funny.
You commented once,
and I said you can't tell people how to deal with their trauma. You can't. You
Are you
do
serious?
understand? Yes.
She didn't look traumatized, man.
And see, that's that nasty behavior. That's that MAGA demon that I've been telling you about.
And I did ask you a question. Do you remember the question?
No, 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 no.
Do you remember the question? You never even
She
answered
did
it.
it.
You
Listen,
never even answered it.
Retribution. You said she didn't look like a victim. How dare you?
How dare me?
Yeah.
Who has the PhD in psychology here? Who do you think is an expert more here? Huh?
You have a PhD in psychology?
Among others too. So let's get to the narrative. You're
What
making your narrative naked already.
from what university?
Are you serious?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because there's a lot of people getting degrees around here, and one of the biggest places that I've seen people get degrees from is Trump University.
Where's your degree from?
The only colleges I've ever been to was Harvard, man. So
Okay, okay, okay. So you got a PhD
and you
from
realize what you
Harvard?
have to do with the PhD, right?
No.
It's
But here's the thing,
you can go
retribution,
view that
retribution, retribution. Here's the thing. No one in the audience believes you. I sure as heck
You can
don't.
go view the PhD on that. You can go view it. It's not that hard.
Does
Of
anyone
course.
does anyone out there believe retribution has a PhD?
He does.
Does
Look,
anyone out there
do
believe
you
he
remember?
has?
Look, do you remember the question I asked you when you posted one question on my site and didn't even answer? That's what you Democrats
They
love
said
doing.
heck. They said
You
heck
love
no.
answering questions. You love
Retribution. Look at that.
making
Retribution.
statements, but you never answer any questions.
Retribution. All these people are saying no, they don't believe that. So
I
please,
don't care
please
what
don't
your
lie. Please
minions
don't lie.
think.
Please don't lie on my platform
I
again.
don't
Because
care
remember,
what your minions think.
these. Can you be nice? All right. Remember, you don't want to lose your account. You don't want to lose your account, so don't lie. That's all I'm trying to say.
Sure.
All right. So you don't have a PhD until you produce evidence of it.
His personal life, man.
Okay, so let's move it along, all right? So conservative Democrat, now that retribution is sitting there pondering on another lie, what do you want to say
Yeah, another lie. Sure.
before we wrap this nonsense up? Because as you can see, you
But you
haven't.
still haven't answered my question. Answer the question. What would a professional who can actually determine cues in somebody, like non-verbal cues, what
Her
do you think they would
mannerisms were
say
off.
about that interview?
So if I understand your question correctly,
Yeah.
you're telling me that a professional individual has psychoanalyzed E. Jean Carroll and concluded that she is not as the judge
Well, you do
has
think
said she is.
what she said on essay, what she said, people think essay is sexy. Isn't that kind of weird?
It is.
But people don't, though. She didn't base that off of statistics or anything.
You don't know what she was thinking when she said that, correct? So it's context.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. You're not going to answer it.
Exactly.
Not
But and I will say this: the fact that Donald Trump did what he did is proof of that. Now let's move on.
No. Before we
No,
move
no, no,
on,
no,
have
no,
you
because-
seen his wife? Have you seen his wife? Come on, man.
No, where is Melania?
Have
Where
you
is
seen
she?
his wife compared to?
Where is she? Is this the woman that he was cheating on with Stormy Daniels?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So don't bring that up.
Yeah,
That's a
sure.
terrible defense.
Narratives, man.
That's a terrible defense. Have you seen Melania? Seriously?
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Why is he cheating on her? Why did he cheat on?
That
Why
would
did
have
he?
not been
So
my first choice.
so why did he cheat on her with Stormy if she was such the hottest thing?
You have solid proof that he's guilty of that?
Yeah.
Of what?
Of cheating on his wife.
He hasn't denied it, and he denies a
course
lot
he
of
Just because he
things.
doesn't deny it doesn't mean
Of
he's
course
guilty
he
of
denied
it.
it.
Come
Well,
on, he probably has, but in the privacy of
Conservative, Democrat, and retribution. Can you both align on one thing, please?
Hey, we're not the same person. We
Yes,
believe
you are.
different things,
Okay, so we all know he's in court right now in New York
Sure.
because of this. That court case, that's real. The payments, real.
You're right.
In a victimless, it's victimless. Victim.
No, okay, I'm not talking. Which case are you talking about? I'm
Fraud.
talking about the
fraud.
Stormy. Oh, the fraud case. Which one? Right? Because Trump org was found criminally guilty. Right? 17 felony counts. Trump org. His CFO Al Weisselberg guilty. All right. Donald Trump ordered to pay $464 million. All right. Lowered the bond, but he still has to pay.
Zeus,
I mean, so what about this is fake?
I want to answer a question you asked Retributions last time you guys talked. How was that a win for MAGA?
How is what a win?
Everything Trump's going through.
I didn't say it was.
No, you're saying it wasn't a win, and I'm going to tell you that my opinion it is. He's
So,
exposing
okay.
corruption on every level.
So Donald Trump getting his clock cleaned up in the state of New York, possibly in D.C. and Fulton County.
How's his clock clean, dude? Has he been prosecuted?
Every time these guys prosecute him, he gets more and more popular.
Let me answer your question. The outcome he's getting in these cases, is that the outcome he wants? So let's take E. Jean Carroll.
Yes, he's exposing corruption.
So wait a second. He wanted to pay E. Jean Carroll?
No.
Just to expose corruption.
You're talking about the hush money?
No. Well, we're going to get to that, but I'm saying, is Donald Trump getting the outcome he wants out of these court cases? And if your answer is yes, then that means you believe that he wanted to pay E. Jean Carroll $88 million so that he could expose corruption. He wants to pay Letitia James or the state of New York $464 million so he can expose corruption.
You know that $86 million. It occurred on, what was that, town hall? That town hall interview?
You know what's so funny, gentlemen? I'll say something. All right, this is related to the hush money thing.
Why didn't CNN get sued too?
We'll get there. Can I talk about the hush money thing, the hush money case? Because you're not answering my question. Is Donald Trump getting the outcome he wants out of these civil cases?
How many times has he sued Stormy Daniels?
Conservative Democrat. This is a yes or no. This is a yes or no question, gentlemen. Can your minds process that? You got a PhD. What is my body language telling you?
You're desperate?
Nah, pretty much.
Yeah, you need to throw that PhD away. Seriously, you just wasted a bunch of money. So the answer to the question is Donald Trump is not getting the outcome he wanted out of these civil cases.
Yes. Every time you guys decide to do something to him, he gets more popular. America sees these lies.
So this is about Donald Trump getting popular.
Well,
in your opinion, it has nothing to do with him losing money.
Everything you're doing to him is going to get him elected.
Personally, I'm not doing a thing.
Oh yeah, you talk about him every day.
Yeah, you talk about him every day.
That has no impact.
The stuff that you say about him, he should shoot you for.
So let's get back to what I was saying, gentlemen. So we talked about the civil case, right? And Donald Trump is not getting the outcome he wanted, because if he was, he wouldn't be crying on Truth Social. He wouldn't be on Truth Social crying and saying this is a travesty of justice. Let me ask you one thing, though. So let's move on to this criminal case. You know what I find fascinating about this criminal case?
Why do you think every Trump supporter is on his platform? I don't do social media.
Well, I'll tell you why I believe that. Because you're in a cult.
Why are we in a cult?
You tell me. I know possibly why.
Elaborate.
Okay. This is a theory, right? This is a theory. This is a theory now. Okay, theories have to be proven to be true, right? But this is what I would go in believing. One, I believe a bulk of you were radicalized by his TV show, The Apprentice, right? You saw yourself in this guy, right? You saw he's a successful businessman. That's what you saw. Then
let me tell you this.
Then what happened
was horrible.
Listen. So then what ended up happening is, Obama, he became president, and that sent a shockwave through a certain part of this country. And so there was a backlash that needed to occur, and Donald Trump was the face of that backlash. You all hitched your wagon onto him. He became your voice. This was a response to President Barack Hussein Obama's presidency, right? So now you're knee deep in the cult. You've all invested all of your checking and savings accounts and your 401ks into this guy. You can't turn back right now. So that's why I believe you are all over there on his social media platform.
I sent him $20,000.
I know.
I sent him $20,000.
I know. But this is the
I
funny
have plenty
part.
of
You
money.
say, yeah, you say that, but then you'll sit here on TikTok and say this economy is terrible while you're sending this guy 20 grand. That's why I say you're all a bunch of
It
liars.
is. But
Yeah, but
hey,
you're
my
cause
investments are on
did you
my
buy
own.
any
They
of
have
that
nothing to
Truth
do with the
Social?
economy.
Did you
That
buy any of that Truth Social stock?
No,
Come on now.
no, I didn't buy any of it. I don't do
Why
stock.
not? Why not? He's a great businessman. Don't you want to invest in your future, in your family? You should
No,
have bought that stock, bro. It's
there's more
soaring
money.
through the
There's
world.
more money in crypto, man. There's more money.
Okay. So you get it. He's not a good businessman. That's not somebody you should invest in. Now,
That's not what I
listen.
said.
I'm well past my 1 hour time slot, but there's one more question or one more thing I want to point out. Do you find it interesting that here we are in this criminal case, and they are going to possibly, if Donald Trump takes the stand, bring up the fact that Donald Trump tried to sue Hillary Clinton and lost that, right? And the judge response to that was, this guy is not a credible person. He's a vexatious litigant and things like that. And that evidence from that lawsuit, that fake lawsuit, which I believe is really weaponizing the DOJ in a way, right, might be used to attack Donald Trump's credibility about this hush money case, which we all know is all centered around the 2016 election in which he was running against Hillary Clinton. Isn't it interesting that here we are now as a country and all of this stuff is coming out?
The country has gone to hell.
What is the question?
Gentlemen, there's a lot of interference. There's a lot of static. I know you're tired. I know I've overwhelmed you with all of this information today.
Wait a
but
minute.
can you answer my question?
There wasn't a question.
Yeah. I said, isn't it interesting that this all is centered around Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? Isn't it interesting
How
that
so?
because the hush money payment that he made was to hide the affair that he had when he was running against Hillary Clinton. And then we got this lawsuit that he had against Hillary Clinton that the judge came back and said this guy is not good. He's a terrible person. He's a vexatious
Okay.
litigant,
Hey,
and they're going to
listen.
basically use all of that when they cross-examine Donald
I
Trump if he
really-
should take the stand.
Listen,
Isn't it
Zeus.
interesting that this is all coming out that the
You know
real
what's
person that
interesting?
should have been locked
You know
up
what's
is
interesting,
Donald
Zeus?
Trump?
Zeus.
So, hey Zeus,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
if
Because he
Trump
was
is,
saying lock her up about Hillary Clinton, remember?
She's a
But
criminal.
isn't it funny that
Zeus,
the
Zeus,
real
your
person that
narratives
needs to be
are
locked
ridiculous.
up?
Your narratives are ridiculous. If Trump is responsible for J6, what is this article saying right now? I have up.
I don't see the article. Jesus Christ. Listen, Retribution. I got to get up out of here, you two. Last question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Donald Trump's presidency?
9. And let me tell you, Zeus.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Listen, in 2022 is when I started supporting Trump. I voted for Joe Biden. I don't care what you guys believe. If it wasn't for Donald Trump running in 2016, we wouldn't have known how corrupt our government is.
So, Retribution. I mean, this is conservative Democrat. You didn't know the government had corrupt aspects or elements in it prior to Donald Trump?
I mean, yeah, I witnessed some things, but on this level is what I'm saying, Zeus.
You didn't know there was a two-tier justice system until Donald Trump became president? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, Joe Biden was the two-tier justice system. He was the Senate that was racially attacking. Remember, he's the one who passed all those laws.
Wow. I mean, conservative Democrat, I'm going to be honest with you. I disagree with that 110%. Actually, 1,000%.
You see it now, champ. You see it now, champ, don't you?
Hold on. What does this say? Hold on. Expand. Let me see what this says right here, ladies and gentlemen. All right. What does this say? The National Guard. He pushed for those troops, okay? The interview also shows White House frustration with slow deployment of assistance. The Select Committee conducted this interview in January of 2022, but never released it. Following Molly Hemingway's reporting, Chairman Loudermilk released the following statement, quote, "The former January 6th committee apparently withheld Mr. Renato's critical witness testimony from the American people because it contradicted their predetermined narrative." Okay, Mr. Renato's testimony proves that Mr. Meadows has said all along President Trump did, in fact, offer 10,000 National Guard troops to secure the United States Capitol. Got it.
You
All
see the
right.
source. You see the
So,
source.
what is the source?
It's right at the bottom.
CHA.gov. I don't know what that means.
It's a government site. So that's all you need to know, man. That's all you
Okay,
need to know.
okay,
More
okay. And
credible
so,
than anything you bring up.
and so, what is that? What are you trying to get me to believe as a result of reading that? I'm
That
confused.
Trump was not responsible for J6. It got out of hand.
Oh. Oh. So that's how you want to end this conversation with Donald Trump not being responsible for J6. Wow. Okay, got it. Retribution. Let's go down memory lane once again. You must not watch my show because I cover this quite a bit. I do. So, are you familiar with the Stop the Steal rally?
No. You're not gonna make some narratives. I gave you the proof, man. Just accept it.
Yeah.
Just
But that
accept it.
proof.
Just
But
accept it.
January 6th and ordering National Guards is two separate things, and I don't believe that situation
It
because
was a narrative. It was a narrative. And
So-
why didn't they tell the American people about that when it happened? Because it was a narrative. Do you know what happens when a president incites insurrection? You know what happens? He loses his ability to go into office, to run for office.
Okay, and Donald Trump pretty much has done that, right? So let's get back to what I was saying. We had an event called Stop the Steal. Who organized that? Whose event was that? Who pushed that and who promoted it on their Twitter?
You're talking about a peaceful protest?
I said Stop the Steal. That was an event. Was that something BLM or Antifa or the FBI planned and put on? Was that something they put on, or was that something Donald Trump
Okay,
put
let
on?
me say something here. Was it Trump's plan for his protesters to be shot in the face with rubber bullets and concussion grenades thrown at them?
Wait a
Was it
second,
his plan?
gentlemen. I'm asking very clear questions. We'll
I
get
just
to
asked a
that.
clear question too, Zeus. Nobody
Okay.
ever answers that question. Answer it.
I don't
Who
know.
would do that to an angry crowd?
Okay, I'm going to get to that. I promise you, conservative Democrat. I promise you I'll get to that. But I want to start from the beginning of this, if you don't mind. So let's start at the very beginning of it, right? The big lie, since you don't want to start where I was starting. The big lie. The 2020 election was rigged.
Before you start with that, I don't mean to interrupt you, but after you get done talking about it, I hope you're going to talk with me about January 20th, 2017.
Whatever you want to say about that, sure. But I gotta go and let's go 15 more minutes because seriously, I didn't think this would take that long to get you two to realize you're wrong. But let's go. So Stop the Steal. Stop the Steal. That was the Donald Trump event, correct?
No, I'm not going to
It
agree to
was.
that.
Yes, it was. I've seen your closet of truth last 3 hours. Why would you want to duck out now?
So it was a Donald Trump event, or was it Antifa?
Well, I believe they were there as well.
No,
Yeah.
no. Who summoned
Look,
those
if you're going to
folks
make a
to?
narrative, just get it out, man. Just get it out.
So this is the thing, right? I mean, it doesn't matter at this point because I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna deny. You're gonna pivot. You're gonna try to push it on someone else.
Just like
Why?
you're going to do when I speak about January 20th, 2017.
So no, I won't. So I just want to make sure we're having an honest conversation before I waste my time.
We are.
Okay, so say it was Trump.
What?
What?
Say the Stop the Steal event was an event Donald Trump that he put on. That was
You're
his.
saying that his intentions were its outcome. Is that what
Okay.
you said?
Okay, so since you lack the ability to be truthful, put your head in the sand then and let me explain what happened on January 6th to you guys, all right? Since you don't want to do it. Donald Trump knew. Yeah. So Donald Trump, he started this thing called, the election is rigged. It was the big lie. What he did was when he realized that President Joe Biden was going to be the winner that day, he engaged in a fake elector scheme and he planned an attack on the United States Capitol. All right. And his supporters, they were told to meet him in Washington, D.C. on January 6th at his event called Stop the Steal. where he would try to do whatever he could to remain in power, which also included pressuring his
Never
vice
said
president,
that.
Mike Pence. I'm not talking about BLM. I'm not talking about Antifa. I'm not talking about the FBI and those so-called ghost buses.
How
I'm
did he
talking about what
pressure Mike
Donald
Pence?
Trump did.
How did
And
he
those were a
pressure
bunch of Trump
Mike Pence?
supporters. Those were trust, huh?
How did he pressure Mike Pence?
He told Mike Pence to go into Congress and to not certify those electors. Remember? You don't remember
He
any of
asked
this?
them to turn it back to the states to be
He
Exactly.
told,
counted,
and so that's what I
which
meant.
was legal for Mike Pence
No,
to
no,
do.
no, it was not. That's
Now
why he
it
didn't
isn't.
do it. So,
Now it
so
isn't.
notice that I'm not even bringing up any of these so-called other people that you like to bring up. This is all Donald Trump's doing.
Yeah.
All right? These are Trump supporters, people wearing Trump 2020 shirts and waving those flags. They're taking down American flags and replacing them with MAGA flags.
Listen,
All
dude.
right? They brought tactical gear. Listen, they brought tactical gear. They brought weapons on
Yeah.
behalf of Donald Trump. You don't
Yeah, you
remember
know
any
what?
of
I've
this?
seen some of
Weapons?
those videos that were released, and I don't
Okay,
think any
okay.
Trump supporters would pull 20 hats out of their bag and then put it on their head.
Yeah, that was pretty suspicious.
MAGA is loud and proud, dude.
No, they're not.
They
Yeah,
are. They
No,
show
no,
up
no.
in.
They're not
They
gonna
show
store
up
their
in
hats in
their
a bag,
attire.
At least admit that that's what y'all are, loud and proud. But as
That's
far as
right.
I'm concerned,
All right.
y'all claiming to be hostages,
All right.
right?
Which is worse?
Ain't nobody
Which
make
is
me a
worse?
hostage.
Which is worse?
No, Trump made you his hostage.
Nah,
You're a
I'm
hostage,
I'm his
Retribution.
supporter, dude.
Hey, which is worse, Zeus? Which is worse, January 6th or January 20th?
January 6th, hands down.
How? Do you realize the estimated damage was 2.8 million? Now, January 20th was 2 billion.
Because guess what? Here we are 4 years later, and this issue is still dividing this country. The damage is off the scale. It's off the charts.
That's
Because
not an
It's
you-
off
answer.
the charts because of you, because of folks like you.
That's not
who
an answer,
actually,
Zeus.
as far as I'm concerned, it was a domestic terrorist act. All right, where you and your friends tried to place a dagger at the throat of our democracy and try to overturn the results of an election.
Your party nearly
No,
burnt
no, no,
down Washington.
no. Your party nearly
We're talking
unalived the
about
vice.
one building.
Your party
I'm talking
nearly
about the entirety of
unalived.
Washington, D.C.
Listen. We all know
Right
Black
to
Lives.
follow
No,
in
no, no.
other
Listen,
cities.
we all know BLM, right, is a peaceful movement, and we also know there were bad actors
Yeah.
there. We all know that there were bad actors there. I'm not talking about that.
95 cars were burnt.
I am talking about trying to
Courtrooms were
unalive.
burnt.
Jesus Christ. Listen, I'm talking about unaliving the vice president of the United States on behalf of Donald Trump. I'm talking about Ashley Babbitt, one of your soldiers losing her life that day at the United States Capitol. I'm talking about
I
the
would say
gallows.
incompetence of
I'm
the
talking
police
about the
officer.
gallows. We're talking about the gallows that were brought there because Donald Trump refused to concede to President Biden.
Let me
I don't
ask
want to
you
hear
this.
about
Let me
any of
ask you
that
this.
stuff.
And J6 and all these other events that happen, these rallies. Why wasn't there any other
Jesus.
violent incident? Why wasn't there? Have you ever been to a MAGA?
No.
Have you ever been to a MAGA
No,
rally?
I have no desire to
It
do
is
such a thing.
peaceful. It is literally peaceful.
Okay, that's what you believe, right? You're the same
I mean,
person that
you
said
could go online
January 6th
yourself.
was
You can go
peaceful.
online and look up the multiple videos of Democrats going
Retribution.
to MAGA rallies.
Retribution.
And you're like, holy.
Retribution. I'm going to say this, and this is not something we can debate. January 6th was not a peaceful protest. It was an act of treason.
Nor was
Wait a minute.
January 20th and the
Wait a
days that
minute.
followed.
Wait a minute. It was a peaceful protest until law enforcement shot rubber bullets into people's faces, and
And even
FBI
after
or
that, they
whoever
were
it
still
was
peaceful.
throwing
Even after that
concussion grenades
happened,
into the
it was still
crowd.
peaceful.
Over
Now, if you
1,300
if you would have went and looked at the information I gave you on that site, you would know this. They even have this information was released at the beginning of this year, and I'm sure you know where it's from. I think it was 7 years ago. some guy
Retribution
was
and
talking-
Conservative Democrat? Why are these people getting arrested, convicted, and sentenced if it was so peaceful? I've never seen any of them charged for.
Why is Trump
all
being
political.
charged for fraud over nonsense?
The answer is because they were breaking the law. They're criminals.
Why is Trump being charged over nonsense in a
Thank you, Rick.
victimless case?
Listen, because Trump is a criminal. That's what happens when you break the
can't tell
law.
me. Typically, you have a victim in any kind of crime. Okay,
No,
that's how it works.
No.
Yeah, that's how it works.
And if you want to say that, I've already had this conversation with you and your friends. There were victims in every single one of these crimes. If you want to talk about the hush money payment, we, the American people, were the victim because he withheld information from us that interfered with the election. The vote, the right to vote is one of the most sacred rights we have in this country. It should be protected at all costs. And when you got characters like Donald Trump who continue to break the law to try to get a one up on his political opponents, that's bad. That's why Donald Trump is sitting in a courtroom, Retribution. Because he couldn't just follow the rules like everybody else.
Because he's being.
It's not a witch hunt.
Yeah.
It's not a witch hunt, Retribution. And I know, and I know you want to believe that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You can believe in the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus coming down the chimney. That's your prerogative.
Hey,
but
let me ask you this one
but
thing,
to the rest of us,
what
it
will
was
you do when
crime.
Trump becomes president? What are you guys going to do?
I'm not even entertaining that conservative Democrat. You know what I'm going to ask you? What are you going to do?
Drop to your knees and scream like that?
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Actually, I already know. I was going to ask you, what are you going to do when these trials start? But they've already started, and I can see right now you're unraveling. You're unraveling. Listen,
I never really wanted to get into it anyway.
Listen. You and Retribution are unraveling right before our very eyes, and I really did enjoy this conversation. I've never seen Trump supporters so worked up like this, and I'm here for it. So, every single day. Listen, going forward. Listen, gentlemen. Every single day going forward.
Did you win this? Did you win?
Every single day going forward. I want you both to understand. I am going to make sure.
Who had more validity here?
Did you show us your degree? No, you didn't.
Why does my degree matter? If I show you my degree, if I have to point it out and give you the website,
did you turn your camera on? Did you turn your camera on?
You will know exactly who I am.
Why does it have to turn personal for you to win the debate?
Exactly. Why do you need to see my face? Why do you need to see my degrees? I mean,
because these are things you tried to bring to the conversation that you couldn't produce any evidence to support.
You can't produce any evidence either. Every time we asked you to show some receipts, you didn't want to. So come on, man.
Oh no, there's no come on. The thing is, you don't need to bring receipts when you tell the truth.
And you hear that? You heard that, conservative Democrat?
Yeah, you two have once again been exposed to be a bunch of liars and seditionists, treasonous traitors. I gave you two a whole hour to straighten this up. But you know what? There's been no progress.
You some evidence right now from a government website that explains that had nothing to do with what happened at J6.
Okay, but that evidence
offered. Now, let me ask you this, because I asked Dubs this. If they accepted those 10,000 National Guard troops, would J6 have happened?
No.
I can't speculate.
No, it wouldn't have.
You speculate all the time when you say Trump's guilty.
But I'll say as far as I'll say, and I'll say this in all due respect, that event, Stop the Steal, that is the thing that made a bunch of people that wear those red hats, I call them Trumpies, all go to Washington, D.C. That had nothing to do with the National Guard. So I believe those people would have been there with or without the National Guard.
But the National Guard stomped out anything that would have happened. It would have never got to that. It would have never escalated.
But why did they show up with weapons?
You're talking about like a knife?
No, tactical gear, zip ties, chemical repellent, right? Remember, the Secret Service didn't want to take him to the ellipse.
Realize
Retribution.
That is our right.
Oh, okay. So it's your right to show up with weapons and armed.
Sure. But it was a peaceful. It was intended to be a peaceful protest, and you know what? It's kind of suspicious.
Retribution. Hold on, champ. Hold on. You know what I gotta do? I gotta blow it.
Great. What narrative are you going to set up now?
Why are you taking weapons and gallows to the United States Capitol?
Let me put it this way:
it's your right.
Would I have a weapon? No. Wait. With people who brought a weapon? No. So get to your narrative.
It's your right to bring weapons to cause harm to our elected officials. That's your right.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not anybody's right, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what to say about this.
Make it a narrative because we both know that no one at a peaceful rally should have brought any weapons. Sure.
But they did it.
You're talking about how many?
The cult members that were there.
Cult members, okay. But conservative Democrat just explained something. It was kind of suspicious. A bus pulled up, people got out, and they didn't have their attire on already. Now, MAGA normally they wear they wear their attire loud and proud, like he said.
You see what you're doing right now? You see what you're doing? You're making excuses.
I'm making excuses. Come on.
Talking about the truth, Zeus.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this.
Truth
Why
that
did
you
you
don't wanna
review that
talk about.
website? Are you afraid that I own the website or something? I'm going to get your IP?
No,
Don't
because
you use a VPN?
okay, I'll tell you why. Because if you've listened to my show, Donald Trump admits that he immediately ordered the National Guard. So that little website you got means nothing to me. I've heard Donald Trump admit that it was him that ordered it after the violence had erupted.
That site has evidence you have
So
never seen before.
who should we believe, Donald Trump or that website you just brought up? Which one do you think I believe?
How is that even a question? All I'm telling
We're gonna
you,
believe
I'm
Donald
bringing
Trump.
You information. That's all I'm doing.
Okay. So here we go. Let's listen to it.
I'd like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. I immediately deployed the National Guard.
You heard that?
Yeah.
Are we supposed to believe you screaming like Trump's guilty for the last 2 years?
No.
When
Did
he
you
wasn't?
Did you hear Did you hear Donald Trump say he immediately deployed the National Guard?
He's probably mentioning that he suggested it to the mayor, which I showed you evidence of that.
Let's listen to it again.
And you got people.
I'd like to begin by addressing the heinous attack
Let's do it again.
on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem.
Look, you guys
I
take
immediately deployed
everything
the
he says
National
out of
Guard.
context. Like literally, you take everything he has out of context. Like the bloodbath thing. Let's talk about that for a moment.
No.
What was he referring to when he was talking about bloodbath? You guys made a big deal about it.
You know what, Retribution?
Exactly. You don't, man. You don't want to answer questions.
You
but
know what, Retribution? I expected more from you.
You will answer some of them.
I
doesn't want to answer anything.
I expected more from you, Retribution.
I expected more from you, man. I expected you to review the information so we could talk about it. But you didn't because you know exactly I'm going to bring actual evidence.
Listen, can you at least unpack what Donald Trump meant when he said he immediately deployed the... I tried to not talk National Guard talk with you, but you kept insisting. So now we're here. He said he immediately deployed the National Guard.
Is he referring to after the Capitol was overran?
Yeah, this is after the violence had erupted. This is after he had stoked, and encouraged them to engage in those heinous acts of violence at the ellipse.
So, from my article, we know that he offered 10,000 National Guard troops.
No, listen. I know where he's going with this. And yes,
yeah, I know where he's going with this.
He tried to, but they didn't show up. They were supposedly, and we won't know the truth, but they were like blocks away and didn't show up on time, right?
Okay. So we're going to ignore what Trump just said, gentlemen, right? This is why I think this conversation this is a tough conversation to have for you, right?
You know what?
Because you don't want to hear Trump say what he's been saying.
If you're going to set up narratives, your show, you play it on your show constantly. If you're not black, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Isn't that racist in itself?
No. Now,
wow.
No.
Hey, conservative Democrat, do you think that's racist?
Yes, it is. Just like when he said the N-word.
Let me see. Are you talking about this one?
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Yeah.
Very racist.
Okay.
That motivated you to vote for him, Zeus?
Okay, what about this one? Since we're going to play this.
MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election.
You agree with that?
No.
Not at all. I mean, obviously, Joe Biden doesn't respect...
What about this?
And they see their MAGA failure to stop a peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election
You don't agree with that?
as preparation for the 2022 and 2024 elections. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards.
Man, the quality of that sound is horrible.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear any of this victim
What
mentality
did that
stuff.
prove? Please elaborate.
It proved that you two don't understand what's happening. That's all that means.
We don't understand, huh?
No.
You know,
And guess what? And guess what?
All
And
of
guess what?
America
And guess what,
understands,
gentlemen? Before I get up out of here, because listen, I really do got to get up out of here. Donald Trump will be not just convicted, but he will be sentenced this year.
Americans
And it's not a witch hunt, and it's not a witch hunt, and it's not a two-tier justice
believe in due
system.
process. So you just said it. You don't
It's
like
not
to
a-
speculate.
it's
You
not-
don't like to speculate, but you're speculating here.
Okay, all right, fair enough. All right, now listen, gentlemen, I got to get up out of here. I didn't know I was going to have to
All
spend
right,
so
man.
much time with you
I
two.
appreciate your time.
Yeah, and by the way, if we ever do this again, I would expect you both to at least learn how to actually be more agreeable when it comes to facts,
And
because that's the biggest problem.
Receipts next time.
Yeah, I stopped doing that in 2022 when I started supporting Trump. I'm not just gonna agree because we're both Democrats.
I never even brought in my party affiliation.
Oh, that's right. You're a liberal. I forgot.
I never brought in my party affiliation, but I tried to just stick to the facts. All right, Donna, thank you so much. You're the best. Oh, thank you so much. All right, and listen, Conservative Democrat and Retribution. Until next time, gentlemen, I'm out of here. All right, but go ahead. Any last words? Any last words? Because I know you got some of your cult members out here that you want to say something to. Go ahead, say it real quickly.
Stop being lame.
America is MAGA. There you go.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anything from you, Conservative?
No. Too
Okay.
bad we couldn't talk longer, Zeus. I know you ain't got nothing that important to do.
He ain't got nothing else better to do. He's felling here. He wants to get off.
Oh,
Once
okay.
again,
Run
go
too.
take that
I'd
walk of
run
shame.
too if I was you.
Okay. All right. Well,
That
you
walk
two.
of shame. You have a good day.
Okay. All right. You two. All right.
How about
All
I
right.
donate you some money to stay alive, Zeus?
Go ahead and send it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. That is Conservative Democrat and Retribution, in one of the rare closet of truth moments, right? They begged me to do the show, all right, and really hear them out. I do hope that they learned something from this very, very interesting conversation. Thank you, Ange. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and supporting. But I do got to run. Otherwise, I would bring up people and talk. But I got to get up out of here. But I guess the takeaway here is there are still a lot of Trump supporters that are refusing to actually embrace reality and deal with what's really happening. Donald Trump is currently in his first of 4 criminal cases in the state of New York. You got people out here losing their minds, setting themselves on fire for this guy. All right? You got Donald Trump in the courtroom falling asleep, passing gas. And while this is going on, President Biden is doing, I would say, one of the best jobs a president at his age can do. He's inspiring people to continue to work hard, despite the fact you could retire, he's working. He's reopened this country, all right, after Donald Trump's terrible presidency, all right? He's not in the courtroom fighting for his life like Donald Trump is. He's actually out here doing the real work to try to get and earn the votes of the American people. All right, and so that's really, really what's important. My hope is that folks like Conservative Democrat and Retribution wake up before it is too late, because it's like I've been saying, right? You will get the ultimate MAGA reward, which is jail. And if you don't get your soul right, hell, if you continue to praise and worship Donald J. Trump. You are in a cult. And yes, I do still believe that MAGA is a bunch of domestic terrorists. And there's nothing that they can say to me to make me change my opinion about it, unless they all start to come clean about the crimes that MAGA has committed. Crimes like January 6th. There's no way to spin that. There's no way to spin it. MAGA is responsible for January 6th. All of these little domestic terrorist acts that are going on, most of the time, it's MAGA. Excusing Donald Trump's predatory ways, the way that he degrades women, wants to implement a national abortion ban and take this country back to 1864, is disgusting and disgraceful. It's not a narrative, it's a reality. And a lot of you folks need to wake up. You can call yourselves Christians all you want to. You can block me on your accounts. Block me, I don't care. Don't tell me, you know what they do? I'm blocking you, Zeus. I don't care. It's not about me. It's really about you. You really do need to get your soul right. All right. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. And by the way, Trump supporters, get those knee pads and those elbow pads ready. Because get this, Jack Smith and Fonnie Willis and Letitia James and guess who? Alvin Bragg are coming for you. It's over, MAGA. It really is. Retribution, Conservative Democrat. Nice try. All right? Nice try. Didn't work. Take care, ladies and gentlemen.
How I move when I'm walking like Zeus. This is how I sound when I'm talking like Zeus. This is how I stare.
I don't need help. Straight facts. Kevin, I don't need help. You need help, MAGA. Your leader's going to prison. He's the one in court right now, not me. Cut it out. Callie Love, Brand B, thank you. Tony, Tone, Southern Delight. You all have a great weekend. Illusion of Choice, Pair 1. Dark Jazzy. Hey, love you all. MAGA is a goner. Hallelujah for prison. Oh, don't worry, Straight Facts. You didn't miss much. Yeah. Oh, I don't have TDS, but you have Zeus derangement syndrome. Thank you, and I know the ladies love me because I'm sweet like a tooth. Hey. Yes. Go ahead, ladies. Woo, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Trump is losing, and MAGA knows it. Thank you, Rick. I love it. PA, I see you out there. All right, Jess. Keep up the great work. Keep it going, and Darby. Yes, let's go. Thank you, Jeffrey. I love you too. All right, I will continue to tell nothing but the truth to these MAGA demons, ladies and gentlemen. I make my own rules. I'm a god. Call me Zeus. Nathan's mom, thank you. Let's go. You say you wanted facts, well, I'm living proof. Great show. It was a nice little closet of truth, right? I don't normally do them, but they insisted. They said, Zeus, we need to settle the score and bury the hatchet. All right, we'll do the closet of truth. Conservative Democrat, you need to work on, actually being agreeable when facts are presented. You and Retribution did a lot of pivoting. It's quite alarming, to be honest with you. It was a Saturday surprise, yeah. Yeah, they need help. I've never heard them just confess. I've never heard them confess just being terrible people like that. Lady Rima, thank you. I like to act a fool when I'm moving like Zeus. Marie, thank you. Here we go, G-Man. Welcome back. Here we go.
I just want to find
Jazzy.
11,708.
Linda, thank you.
Love. One more than we have.
Right. That'll get you a RICO case. That'll get you. Hey, Reggie! Are you there, Reggie, brother Reggie? Let's hit him with the remix. Let's go!
He's deranged. Jackson. He's deranged. Jackson. He's deranged. Jackson. He's deranged. Jackson. He's deranged. Jackson.
He's deranged.
Jackson. He's deranged. Donald Trump is indicted and they take
one charge and they turn it into 36 charges. And Valerie, I see you.
Openly, he's a Trump hater. And his wife is even more of a Trump hater.
Oh, yeah.
Deranged Jackson.
Yes. Now let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Show them the truth about Donald Trump. This is Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, thinking he's going to beat President Biden.
We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more.
Right. And then we all know what happened.
It's such a big night. You just take a look at all of these states that we've won tonight. And then you take a look at the kind of margins that we've won them by. And all of a sudden, it's not like we're up 12 votes and we have 60% left. We won states, and all of a sudden, I said, what happened to the election? It's off. And we have all these announcers saying, what happened? And then they said, oh.
That part?
Because you know what happened? They knew they couldn't win. So they said, let's go to court. And did I predict this? Did I say this? I've been saying this from the day I heard they were going to send out tens of millions of ballots. I said exactly, because either they were going to win, or if they didn't win, they'll take us to court. So Florida was a tremendous victory.
Right.
76,000
Look at all this
votes
math
with
that
almost
he's
nothing
doing.
left. And all of a sudden, everything just stopped.
Oh.
This is a fraud on the American public.
Right.
This is an embarrassment to our country. We were getting ready to win this election. Frankly, we did win this election.
Oh, it's going to be a nasty win this time, all right? Now, let's get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what we got to do? We got to drop the bomb on these MAGA demons.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
That's right. You ain't black. You ain't nothing but a modern-day slave. I'm out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Take care and have a great rest.